There's lots of new terminology kicking about when you've got electric cars and solar PV. Kilowatts, kilowatt hours are two, and kilowatt peak as well comes up quite a lot. They're not too difficult to understand. In fact, I would say that they're much easier to understand than buying a car that does a certain amount of miles per gallon and then buying the fuel in litres and trying to work out how much it costs to drive a mile. So hopefully we can make this a bit easier. So a kilowatt hour is a unit of energy. A kilowatt is a unit of power. And power is the rate of energy transfer, so how quickly you can move it. So you can think of it in water terms as kilowatt hours being the amount of water that's in the bucket, and kilowatts being how quickly the bucket's being filled up or emptied. To put those two together, if I have a 10 kilowatt hour bucket or battery and I charge it at 1 kilowatt, it'll take an hour to charge because it's a kilowatt hour. So if we're charging a 70 kilowatt hour battery in a car and we're charging it at 7 kilowatts, which is the typical charge speed, that'll take 10 hours to charge because it's 7 kilowatts for 10 hours equals 70 kilowatt hours. There's a few bits to come off that because it's not 100% efficient. Some of the energy is lost in the process, so it's not quite as simple as that, but that's the basics of it. And the kilowatt hour is the unit that you pay for on your bill. Every time your meter clicks over, or I suppose it's a smart meter now, so when you see an extra number on there, those numbers are the total number of kilowatt hours that your house has used, and your contract with your energy supplier will be a price per kilowatt hour. And you'll pay, if your price is 50p, you'll pay 50p once you've used 1 kilowatt for 1 hour. It equals a kilowatt hour. The other one we use quite a bit is kilowatt peak, which is normally used to measure solar PV systems. So if we do a 6 kilowatt peak solar PV system, that means that if the light hitting it is absolutely perfect, the maximum output is 6 kilowatts. In reality, that means there's very, very little time where it's actually producing 6 kilowatts of electricity. Most of the time it's producing a lot less than that because the sun's not in the ideal position in the sky, the angle of the panels isn't perfect, there's shading and so on. So it's a measure of the maximum output, not necessarily the output that you're going to get all the time from it.